Okay. Let's review the content categories that we spoke about last session, and then I'm going to expand on that. Remember that we discussed the reflexive object relation set of categories: existence, recurrence, and disappearance. The first, an example of existence. I've made a point, by the way, in the area of existence in that area, that content category. That content category only reflects the child's labeling of an object, nothing else. The child is simply commenting on when they're using the content category existence. They're just commenting on the existence of something, like cat. They may do it in a single word. They may do it in 2 words. That a cat. They may do it in a full sentence. 3 constituents: subject, verb, complement. That is a cat. That's a dog. That's an elephant, or whatever. That's all existence is. And the only verb that goes with existence is the copula verb, is or are. That's it. Remember that. Recurrence was more, disappearance was all gone, if you remember that last time. The next, a category that develops very much near at the same time as existence, is action. And that refers to an action such as throw, or eat, or drink. Could be a single word like eat or drink or throw. It could be 2 words like, really, it'll be constituents, 2 constituents, like eat cake or drink soda. Or it could be a full 3 constituent utterance, like mommy, eat the cake, or something along those lines. Locative action is another action type content category, but it refers to a change of location and the verbs that take prepositional phrase complements that denote place are locative action verbs, like sit down. Now, locative action can appear as a single word utterance, such as down or up, if the child is trying to emphasize a change of location, or as 2 word or 2 constituent utterance, like sit down, fall down, or as multi-constituent utterances, full sentence utterances, like mommy sit down, daddy go home, the boy went to school. All of those are locative action utterances. Go home. Mommy, go home. Go. See? Go home. Now, I made the point. Location occurs first in context of action as opposed to state. So locative state is another content category, also referring to location, but it's a static location. A static location, such as on the table, or the cup is on the table. The thing that the child refers to isn't moving, isn't being acted upon, and therefore it's locative state, as opposed to the location statement is locative state, as opposed to locative action. So examples, and just keep in mind again for the future that when you're working on as a clinician and you want to teach location, we do not teach location initially by having something static in a particular area and simply teaching the meaning of a preposition. Instead, we get the kid to perform an action. And later on, we then work on state, location in terms of state, such as the food is on the table. Another state category is attribution. That really develops before locative state. As you'll see on the Lahey chart, this chart here is not the Lahey chart that I showed you earlier. But examples of attribution are big, yellow, really color, shape, size, feel of something, soft, hard. Those are attributes. Those are state categories. Again, they develop a bit after the reflexive object relation and action categories. You can get a single word attribution utterance, such as big, little. You can get a two-word attribution utterance, like that big, big cup. Or you can get a full sentence attribution utterance, like daddy is sad. Although I think that's state actually sad. Daddy is big, or something along those lines would be attribution. Daddy is big as an attribution utterance. State is another state category. And it's very important to note that state develops after action and the categories about things that are manipulated, such as existence. So, state, things like want, the verbs like want, need, and want, need, feel. Those are state verbs. Also, the copula is code state. Codes existence, it also helps code state. So I want the cupcake is a state category. She is sad. That's three constituent state. I need someone or something. That's a state comment. That belongs to the content category state. By the way, you're probably saying, but kids talk about want early on. And just to review, to repeat something I think I said in class, that early on, if the kid wants something, they're going to be expressing it through gesture or through the sound of their voice. They're going to fuss about something. Or they're going to say, gimme, which is an action way of saying they're trying to get something. Want naturally comes a little later because want is an internal feeling situation, or needing is internal and a little more abstract and hard to conceptualize than actions. So that comes a little later. Another state category is possession. State type category, possession can show up as a single word utterance, such as mine, and it is coded by the verbs have and got. So a three constituent possession utterance would be, possessive state would be, I have a cookie. Two word or single word is my, mine. Two word would be mommy cookie, daddy cookie. Three constituent possession utterance would be, that is mine. I believe the written form of these utterances are going to appear very shortly on the screen that you're observing. Here they come. I'm re-recording the audio over the video because I kind of messed up earlier, so we're re-recording it. There's mine. There's my hat. Two word possession utterance. There's that is mine, a three constituent possession utterance. Mommy's hat, a two word possession utterance. A couple of other content categories that we spoke about, I know, the last time were rejection and denial, typically expressed by no, where rejection is no, I don't want it, is being expressed. Here's eat your spinach. No, I don't want it. Whereas denial, denies is the content category in which denotes, which the child uses to deny the truth of something you're saying, such as spinach tastes great. Kid says no. You love spinach. Kid says no. Get it? Denying something. If you're not sure of the negation, what the no really gets to, no cookie or something like that. Usually that's disappearance. It could be one of the reflexive object relations being denoted. But if you're not sure, just use the term negation, and that is a content category that covers all the rejection, all the negation things. Quantity is another content category. I don't think we spoke about that last time. Number, 3, 1, 2, 3, counting, that's quantity. If the child uses plurals, such as monkeys, the S at the end of monkeys is quantity. That's one of the earliest versions of quantity, is the morpheme that codes number. All of those are quantity utterances. You can get a 3-constituent quantity utterance, such as there are 3. You can get words like lots of candy. That's quantity. Another content category is temporal that I don't think we spoke about. That's time. Monday would be temporal. It's 3 o'clock. If the child now tells time, that would be temporal. First, second, third. That would be in the order that things occur. That would be temporal. First person in the row, that might be quantity. I'm not sure. Feels like temporal, actually. Also, the morpheme that codes tense, like jumped, the ED, that's temporal as well. Now, this is where I'm now going to continue on here. And I am going to talk about something that I'm going to adjust the video here and talk about, pick up where we finally left off last time, and that is this business of this particular sentence, which is problematic from the point of view of the lecture so far. That is a scary cat. And I think we left off there at our last lecture when I was there with you face to face. And that is that utterance can really that utterance incorporates really 2 content categories, doesn't it? It incorporates existence, that is a cat. That part of the utterance is existence. Of course, if the kid said that's a really scary cat or that's a scary cat, the word scary denotes attribution. So what is it? Existence or attribution? Well, in order to understand that, we really understand how to approach this. We really have to distinguish between 2 types of content categories: verb relation content categories and non-verb relation content categories, which we will also refer to as coordinated content categories. Verb relation content categories and non-verb relation content categories. And that's what we are going to continue on with now. Distinguishing the 2 and understanding how to identify each. Now, about the verb relation content categories and non-verb relation content categories, we're going to distinguish between the 2. Okay. So, remember what I said last time. I said, identify, now I'm going to be speaking about single verb sentences, which are level 3 analysis type sentences. Level 3 refers to the analysis type. It's the type of analysis we do with single verb sentences or sentences that imply a verb. We identify the subject, the verb, and the complement. Remember, complement is with an E in it, is the fancy word for object of the sentence. And we go, following the Bloom and Lahey approach, we are going to identify one word as the complement or object. We'll use the term complement. In this case, it's cat, even though the full phrase is a scary cat. The bottom line complement, the word that goes with is the word cat. So you get, this is cat. That is how you identify the verb relation content category. It's going to be the content category represented by the subject, verb, and complement word head only. Extra words don't count, like a and scary. We're just going to focus on that is cat. And we will see that that is what? Content category. The content category is existence. That is the verb relation content category. A verb relation content category is the one that is the content category, singularize it here, that goes with the SVC. It's the SVC, wherever the C is, I lost it. SVC category. Everything else is a non-verb relation content category. Scary is a non-verb relation category. It is, and we give the child credit for it. Scary is what? It's attribution. So I'll put that on another line here. I'll identify that as attribution, you see, and say that the sentence has two content categories in it, and that is existence and attribution, but I will say that the existence content category is the main verb relation one. I'm going to say attribution is coordinated. It is coordinated. And what I mean by coordinated is it's added to the sentence as the child organizes it to generate it. It's an additional content category brought into the sentence. After the child organizes, that is cat, which is the verb relation content category there. So let's think of several others. In the videotape of my kids that you saw of my kids dressing an animal, let me say, look at, he's got, this is one of the things they said, he's got his super undershirt on. Now there's a great sentence there. He's got, misspelled of course, he's got his super undershirt on. So, how do we handle that since we've got a lot of stuff in that sentence? How many verbs in that sentence? Well, we have, first of all, how many verbs in the sentence? Well, there's an apostrophe S, which, what does that stand for, by the way? He has got, right? He has got. That apostrophe S is, represents has. He has got. What is has in there? Yeah, it's a helping verb. It is it codes perfect, present perfect tense. In other words, it's an inflection. It doesn't really count as a verb. It counts as part of tense. So really is one verb here, and it's got. The subject is he. He's got undershirt. I think undershirt is the primary complement. He's got his super undershirt on. He's got undershirt. Everything else, then, the SVC in this sentence is he's got undershirt. Now, there are lots of other words there that we have super, we have his and on, and they all have meaning. They all belong to a content category. But the verb relation content category is what? It's he got undershirt. What content category does he got undershirt? What does that belong to? It is possession. It's possessive state. It's like he has could be a verb. If he said he has a super undershirt on, that would be possession too. This hat, by the way, you're going to have to work on some. Let me stick with this idea first. That possession is he got undershirt. That is the SVC content category. That belongs to, that is the verb relation content category. Everything I'm saying are synonyms. SVC content category, verb relation content category. That is what possession is. Following me? Now I require, when you analyze your language sample that you're going to be collecting, I require that you identify in writing on the analysis sheet, which we're going to get to next time. On the analysis sheet, you will indicate SVC. You will actually write it over the subject, verb, and complement. And those three words are the ones that I'm going to check to make sure that you then identify a content category that correspond to those three words. In this case, the corresponding content category is possession. Now, what about super? It's a super. And his. Well, his codes what? We're not going to ignore it. Yes, his equals possession too. It's possession again. It's content category possession again. But it's a non-verb relation. It's operating as a non-verb relation category here too. So possession is the main content category, and then the kid coordinates possession again. His, a non-verb relation possession, which we're going to call coordinated. That is synonymous with non-verb relation. It's a coordinated content category. Possession. Possession is the main category. I hope you're not getting confused. Based on he got undershirt, it's possessive state. Got is possession. But so is his. So the kid talks about possession twice here. He got his undershirt. And on is location. It's really locative state. It's the place where the undershirt is. We can just indicate location. Also coordinated content category, that is non-verb relation. And we have super. It's a super undershirt. And super is what? Attribution. And that too is non-verb relation. It's a non-verb relation coordinated content category. Following me? I'll do one more right now. Now he is really ready. I'm taking it from that videotape. Now he is really ready. How do we handle that sentence? Let's go to another page. Clean page. How many verbs? One is, oh wait, one, ready. Sorry. Well, this is an interesting one, actually. I'm not sure I want to deal with it right now, but The verb is, I am incorrect. The verb here is, I'm not going to edit the videotape. I'm going to say the verb is. The subject is he. And ready is the complement. He is ready. Now, ready is interesting because it's verby. It's a participle, actually. But it really operates as it operates as an adjective here. Adjective. Ready, or he's a ready person. It acts like an adjective, interestingly enough. So he is ready. What's the content category there? I'm going to call it state. I'm going to come back to this business of the words like ready. Another word like ready would be if the child said, he is finished. Finished. Finish it by itself is a verb, right? It can serve as a verb, but he is finished. Finished is a verb that's operating like an adjective. And in that situation, it is in fact an adjective. And in the sentence, he is ready and he is finished, both belong to the state category. It is state. And state is a verb relation content category. It is the verb relation content category because it's the content category that goes with S, V, and C. You have extra words though, right, don't you? You have now. That's outside of SVC. We'll give it a content category. It belongs to time. It's temporal now, but it's coordinated. I'll show you, by the way, when I go through the analysis sheet, where you put these things on the analysis sheet. And really is another word. Really ready, and you want me to tell you the content category for really, don't you? But I'm not 100% sure. It feels like a state of readiness, so it could be state. It can't be attribution because really isn't an adjective here. It's an adverb, and ready is operating as a kind of an adjective. So I don't think it's attribution. I think it's it's state coordinated with state, although I'm not 100% sure. There's another content category called specification, but it doesn't feel like specification to me. This one's hard for me. So I have temporal, coordinated, state coordinated, I'm going to call really state, the state of readiness. And he is ready as state, the verb relation content category. In other words, the child is generating SVC, he is ready, and then as he generates that sentence, he coordinates with his state utterance, really and now, temporal and another state comment. Actually, that is as far as I'm planning to go. I'm not going to go further today because I would have to get into two verb utterances. So rather than that, I'd like you to practice a little bit coding single verb or less utterances. So one word to single verb. And I think that was one of the discussions I have up. And I'm going to post that I did already actually. As in this lecture, you see Jordan and Cameron playing there, right? Dressing animals, and they're saying things. So take those utterances and pull out from that set of utterances 10 of them that are either single word to single verb, and simply identify the verb relation content category and any coordinated content categories, and just do that in any way you want to do it. You just make a little chart or make a little list. Each of you do that. Each of you should do that by starting a thread for yourself. so I can take a look at what you're doing. And I'm going to expand on this and go into the two verb relations next time, but I'm going to ask you to practice the one verb relations. Take a look at the Lahey chart and keep and monitor the the Blackboard site. I may add the lecture on two verb content categories over the weekend. Okay, that's it for this right now.